As the world's most important tennis championships approaches, Euronews caught up with Britain's Andy Murray, who won the men's singles there last year. He's currently ranked world #1 and was the first Brit to win the Wimbledon title since 1936. He also won Olympic gold in 2016. But this year Murray has two tennis giants to contend with, Nadal and Federer.
Andy Murray, thank you for joining us and congratulations on a tremendous year. You were able to hold on to top spots, which shows a great consistency. Recently, you produced a solid display at the French Open, and now it's this time of the year, Wimbledon. You have home field advantage. What does it mean to you to play here? What's the atmosphere like?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a special time of year for all of the British tennis players, and yeah, there's maybe a little bit more pressure during this time of year than usual, but you know, the atmosphere in the matches is great. Obviously, you know, support for you know, for all the Brits around the grass court season is great, and you know, it's helped me a lot through my career and also the other players as well. Tim Hemmon had, you know, his best results by far during this period, and a lot of people think that sometimes the pressure and the attention makes it more difficult to play, but I think that the support you get during the matches really balances it out and makes a big difference.
So you're okay with the Murray mania? You think it raises your game rather than adds pressure to?
Well,
to
I think pressure is a good thing, and that for me, I like being nervous. I find that it helps me concentrate better. You know, can be stressful at times, but you know, once you get out there on the court, you know, nerves and pressure are a good thing. You know, I feel like it helps you to perform better once you've experienced it enough times, and yeah, hopefully that'll be the same again this year. Talk
us through your opponents. Who are the true contenders this year?
Like, I mean, in sport, it's always very difficult to see. The French Open and the women's draw you just had. You know, 19-year-old, or she turned 20 during the tournament. Elena Ostapenko won there. You know, she was ranked 50 in the world. And in the men's game, it's been a little bit more certain recently. A lot of the same winners, but you know, I mean, Federer's obviously played great this year, and Nadal had an amazing run again at the French Open, and you know, hopefully I can put on a good performance too. But I think it's going to be an interesting event. I think there's quite a few players can win it.
You did mention Roger Federer. You lost him in 2012 and gave a speech that we all remember after this final, quite an emotional speech. How far along have you come since this moment, physically and mentally speaking?
Yeah, I think more mentally it was, you know, it was a tough loss for me, that one. It was one of the hardest matches to get over in my career. It was the fourth time I'd lost in a Grand Slam final. I hadn't won a Grand Slam final at that stage, and you know, I had some chances in that match. You know, I was up a set, had points to go up a break in the second, and didn't get it. So it was tough and obviously very emotional for me. But you know, I responded well from it. You know, I played the Olympics on the same court against Roger in the final there 4 weeks later, and played one of the best matches of my career that day. So it was, you know, a real kind of turning point in my career, that match.
What about your staff? Your coach is Ivan Lendl, obviously a legend of the sport. What's it like working with him? And when you were growing up, who would you look up to?
Yeah, well, I think having an ex-great player in your team can help a lot, because you know, they've been through a lot of the same experiences that you have, competing in Grand Slam finals, playing against great players, always, you know, having to find ways to improve your game if you want to stay up at the top. Most great players have been through tough moments in their career as well, and when you hear one of the best players that's played the game telling you, yeah, remember, you know, when I went through this, it helps. You know, it does make a difference, and that's why you've seen a lot of the top players recently have been working with ex players, especially ones that have been up at the top of the game.
It must be difficult. The tennis calendar is completely full. Do you think it's too much? Do you think they should reduce the number of mandatory tournaments?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, I think it would be good for tennis. I think it would help the longevity of the players, which, you know, is, in my opinion, is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, our season starts the first week of January, and the last tournament is, middle to end of November. It changes some years, but there isn't loads of time to have rest and breaks, and it's important to allow your body to do that. So you have to be, currently with the way that it's set up, you have to be very smart with your scheduling and take the weeks and days that you can get off when you can. But yeah, less mandatory events could help that.
If you hadn't turned professional, what would you be doing?
I'm very thankful that tennis worked out for me, but I made a decision really when I was 15 that I wanted to try to become a professional tennis player, and maybe obviously it worked out very well for me, but I may have done something differently. I would have liked to have I've spent some time at university. A lot of my friends have done that and gone to American university and had a great time, and with a little less pressure when they were young, they continued with their tennis, but then got an education as well. For me, obviously, I stopped that young, and thankfully tennis worked out for me, but maybe I would have done something a little bit different there. And I would have loved to have worked in sport. I mean, when I was growing up, I played loads of different sports. I watch and follow the sport. I really enjoy it, so I would have done something in sport for sure.
Recently, you paid tribute to the victims of the London and Manchester attacks. In your autobiography, Hitting Back, you mention an incident you were involved in when you were younger, a shooting at your school. I just wanted to know, how do you bounce back from such an event? How do you become the world #1 after having seen this?
Obviously it was a difficult period for, everyone in the town and, everyone's families. I was extremely young at the time, so I don't know how much impact that's had on my tennis, but I'm proud of what I've achieved in my career, and thankful for all of the support I've always had from Dunblane. Everyone can be in different situations. Everyone deals with the problems differently, but I think the best thing to do is to talk about it. You have to discuss it. Not to bottle it up. That can sometimes make things more difficult, and yeah, opening up is always the best option, I think.
Andy Murray, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck in your bid to retain your title at Wimbledon.
Thank you. Thanks.